Probably have to hit the mute button over here. Boom, 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 boom. Indigo Earth, what's happening? Oh man, see, Radiant Rose, what's happening? Rich Wealthy, what's going on? Maru Khan News, what's happening? Radiant Rose said, um, Breonna Taylor and Tyree Nichols has exact same birthday, bro. Alchemist Handbook, what up? Hold on, I gotta find my blog. Hey, say something real fast, Jew.
Yo, yo.
Okay. Find my volume button on this thing. Yeah. Yeah, man. So we just wanted to start early just to get everybody in so we can start on time at 9 o'clock. But everybody, when you come in,
Just to get everybody
in so we can start on time. Do the thumbs up for me, please. And let me mute my YouTube side. Ricky Skills, what up? What's happening? I'm gonna mute my YouTube link. That way we straight. What's going on, man? Shadow to Life, what's up? Man, now why didn't I get some water? Well, that wasn't smart. Yeah. Yeah, everybody thumbs up, man. We're gonna get started in 5 minutes. Man, I got so many disclaimers I want to give. I hope I can remember them. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna fill up my mug. In fact, I'm gonna take my water bottle. Indigo Earth Angel. What's happening?
Let's see here. What's good, everybody? What's good? Let's see here.
David Strong, what's happening, man? Aaron Flo, what's up? That is crazy. That's crazy. I mean, the same day and same freaking year. True. So the question is March 13th, 2020. Let me see something real fast. Copy. Vita Moore, what's happening? What's going on? That's what's up. We 9:00. So everybody thumbs up, please. Everybody that's currently in here, do the thumbs up for us so we can kind of hit that algorithm. Oh shit, Just Blaze in the building. What up?
What's good? What's good? Skills, David, Aaron, Vita, Just
Nebula
Blaze,
Artista
Nebula,
from Mexico. What's happening?
Indigo Earth Angel. I see you.
Oh, hold on. Messed that up. Let me make sure y'all can hear me, man. You can hear me, Jew?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. I ain't gonna mess with this mic too much, man. Yeah. Skills, what you say? Can't deny the truth when it's in your face. Hey, man. There is a state of consciousness that won't believe it when it's in their face, man. For real. Mm-mm-mm. Let me load up. Let me see where that's at. That's there. Let me hit save on that. So, oh, okay. It's on that one. Yeah. But do me a favor on both platforms, click the thumbs up button for us, please. And we'll kick it off in about 2 minutes, y'all. About 9:05, we get started here. Appreciate you, Indigo Earth. Tanisha, what up? I was just sending you a signal. I was. I swear to God, I just thought about her. Like, hold on, this don't seem right. I'll check that tomorrow.
Oh, wait a minute. Maybe because um let's see. Okay, let's do this, Joe.
Carlo, 6th July, Brody, what's happening? All right, man. You want to kick off? Who
Yeah, man.
lay the ground?
Okay. All right. So welcome everyone. We appreciate you guys coming out tonight to check out this super important, insightful presentation tonight. Man, where can we start? So I don't know, maybe about a week and a half ago, maybe or so, a viral video went out on all social media platforms down in the Memphis area where a young man was brutally beaten. Ultimately, he succumbed. He passed away from the uh, interaction with the police. I think they say it might have been 4 or 5 police officers. A lot of uproar about it, specifically because this time around it was Black officers who did it. And so it's been a lot of conversation, commentary about, is it systematic still? Can you still call it racism? And are Black cops playing, and still doing things in the spirit of white supremacy, all that type of thing surrounding the video. Me, myself, I didn't watch the video.
Me either.
I didn't watch the video. I remember calling Ampu because of the nature of things. Our minds are always geared toward looking at situations from another angle. So I hit Noble up like the next day, or maybe even the same day when the video came out. And the first thing he said was, I gotta go check the script for Rodney King. First thing that he said. So a couple of days went past, and I hit him back like, man, did you look? Did you start? He's like, nah, I ain't looked yet. So then when he finally did go look,
Man.
When he finally did go look, he caught the spirit of 2013, 2012 jumped into my partner's body. For y'all that were around at that time, when we used to do these type of things regularly. But basically, y'all about to see the importance of knowing thyself and what many would call the quantum enigma of consciousness.
Man.
And so without further ado, I'm gonna get out the way. I'm really just hit a ride shotgun and maybe have some commentary toward the end. But I introduce everyone to my partner in crime, Mr. Noble and Pooh.
Oh, man, let's go, man. So listen, man. Look, I listen. I don't. Like Drew said, he didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. I never even seen a link to watch it. I didn't go looking for it to watch. Like I saw somebody in the chat. I think maybe it was Indigo Earth Angel. It's like, nah, I ain't watch it either. And here's the kicker with that kind of stuff. Like, right, one, ain't nothing you can do about it in a sense of, watching it and not watching it. What appears to be the fact remains. And what happens is you got to be real careful on what you watch because, man, the way images work in the mind, it could be, you could have nightmares about stuff. It'll go into the subconscious mind and it'll start affecting your behavior, to start affecting your life. And what you really don't know, in a sense, is by you watching it and having a negative emotion attached to the actual thing that you're watching, that can create another event that's exactly like it in the future. Now, I know that may sound crazy, but it's not really crazy because the only thing you got to do is just agree to the fact that you believe in vision boards. So if we believe in vision boards by looking at something all the time, I always say the law of observation that becomes reality, your vision board, you observe it, somehow it becomes reality, right? It doesn't turn off just because you don't like it. In fact, here's the kicker. In fact, if you really don't like it and have a disdain for it, it's likely to manifest quicker. There's a passage in the Bible that says, what, Minister Jew? The thing that I fear, what? Is
But the
upon
thing that
me.
I feared the most has come upon me. That's in the book of Job.
That's right. So you have to be careful on what you observe because your observation creates reality. You got to know that. Okay. All right. So let me get to my screen share. I ain't doing no audio thing. Bam. Let me know if you can see my screen, Jew.
Yes, sir.
You got me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right. So we calling this the spirit of Rodney King, the police killing of Tyree Nichols. Both of them rest in peace. Again, I see when I'm more amazed in the beginning part, like when Jew said, he called me and told me what was going on. I don't know this stuff, right? And as he's telling me, I'm like, oh shit, that's Rodney King. Let me go check, right? And he told you the couple days I didn't check, I didn't get to it, but then I did go check, and you about to go see what I checked. See, the question I have will be, what in the hell told me to go check? And as now it's come out that Rodney King's daughter has made a comment about this situation, and rightfully so, because she sees it as a mirroring phenomenon. Okay. All right. So I want us to have a little bit of common sense here. It's sort of like some disclaimers that I want to give, right? Today's conversation is for the thinker. I want to appeal to the side of you that can think outside of the box. Suspend all judgment for a minute and just hear it out and think outside of the box. Use a little bit of common sense here. Okay. All right. So here's a part of scripture, one of the things that I like, where Jeremiah says, the book, God is talking to Jeremiah, before I even formed you in your mother's womb, I knew all about you. Now, what do you mean before you formed me? Before I was formed in my mother's womb, you knew about me. Before you drew your first breath, I already chosen you. My point in showing you this is a biblical reference that is talking about a pre-existing state before consciousness or before your human awareness. Okay, that's all I'm pointing out for. So in the Bible, we gotta put a check mark here. There is a state of knowing before you, the human, can know. Okay. Here's another one. If you read Genesis 1, it talks about creation, day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you go to chapter 2, they wrap up day 7 and then start talking about creation differently. And they start off like this. These are the generations of the heaven and earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and heavens. Every plant of the field before it was in the earth. Whoa. See, again, it is talking about a state of existence before the actual manifestation of the thing. In this case, the manifestation of earth, right? So there was something that is created that you know to be of the earth or comes through the earth or that's in the earth, but the intelligence of it existed before the actual manifestation of it or of its depending part called earth. Again, you can call this primordial state of consciousness. Let's just call it a knowing before creation. In simple terms, y'all, for real, what it's really talking about is a subconscious aspect, and then there is a conscious aspect. Okay. Like, are you telling yourself to blink right now? Are you telling yourself to produce saliva right now? Are you telling yourself to breathe air right now? Are you telling your liver to detoxify the things that you ate today? You're not doing all of that. These are subconscious automatic processes. And the Bible is very clever enough to talk about these different states of consciousness, okay, and functions. All right. All right. So, to my people who go to church, I want you to challenge yourself tonight. And when you go to Bible study, that your higher self is going to be the teacher. Because, see, I don't play semantics. I never got into that. But I found it interesting that, believer, it looks like be, lie, ver. And ver is abbreviation for version, right? So version of a version of what? A version of be a lie. Oh, and I'm looking at this and I'm like, so is a believer a person that is a version of a person that's a lie? They're believing in the unseen. Is it a lie? It don't necessarily mean that it's a lie just because you don't understand it. You can believe in something that's true. But I found it interesting that these words make up the word believer. See, the key here is you're going to either you better hope like heck that your teacher is correct and you can have trust and faith in what that person is saying and delivering, and you can get results out of your life from that teacher, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with blind faith. The problem is if the person is wrong, you may not have no results, right? But what is the difference between the teacher and the believer? The teacher is the person who said, hey, I'm going to undergo the study to properly understand this, and so I can disseminate this back to the people. The believers say, I'm not going to do it. You did the study, so that's all I need. And you got to be careful with that. Because in English alone, in just English, there's more than 100 translations of the Bible. I say that again. In just the English language, there is more than 100 translations of the English Bible. So you will see things like the King James Version. You will see something like the NIV version. You will see God's Words translation and countless more. This person's going to say this, the other person's going to say that. And that's a fact, right? See, the question I like to pose is, do you even know where to go to translate the Bible yourself? Because that may be very important. And I give you two examples. Here go one, talking about Jesus, right? And we're going to go down to verse 46. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the center of the teachers, right? Now the story is, Jesus and his parents left. They realized he wasn't in the car. They probably didn't have cars then, but you get my drift. He wasn't in the whip. They're like, oh snap, we done left our son. Let's go back, see where this dude at. Oh, here he is. He's in here listening to the teachers, right? Okay. Now look at this translation. And it came to pass that after 3 days, they found him in the temple sitting in the midst of the doctors. Whoa. A teacher and a doctor is not the same thing in English. In the Negro mind, the American mind, and I'm quite sure this translates to all cultures, teachers and doctors are not the same thing. So even if you want to pull it up, let's just pull it up by salary. A teacher, on average, as of January 26, 2023, the average for a teacher is $42.2 thousand. That's what they make. A doctor, as the same timeline, makes $210,000. A teacher and a doctor are not the same thing. See, this becomes very important. Because if all the books said he was sitting with the doctors, then maybe our understanding would be something different, right? Well, why is this dude talking with doctors? Okay, something medical. Maybe there's some type of connection in that field. But sitting with the teachers just make it look like, oh, he was just talking about the Bible. This is very important to understand that. All right, now watch this. Here's another one. The wise men, right? Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea when Herod was king. After Jesus' birth, wise men from the east arrived in Jerusalem. We all heard this story, the 3 wise men. Okay. Now, if you go to Greek, why Greek? Because for you to understand the New Testament, it was revealed, it was written in the Greek. So you have to understand Greek. So if you go to a Greek Bible, I'm not making this up. You see it. It says an online Greek Bible, right? What's the definition here? Amagus, the name given by the Babylonians, right? The Persians and others to wise men, teachers, priests, physicians, astrologers, seers, interpreters of dreams, augurs, soothsayers, sorcerers, etc. The Oriental wise men, astrologers. Hold on. So now we see that teacher and physician are synonymous. So in one version, they say he's sitting with the teachers, but in the English mind, we thinking just a regular teacher. At best, teacher of the Bible. Okay, cool. Another one is saying doctor. That makes you think, okay, a highly sophisticated person. Cool. Right? But what if it was saying, oh, he was sitting with the astrologers? You never heard that one before. I know I haven't. Right? But check this. King James said there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. That's what King James says, right? What the Good News Translation say? Some men who studied the stars came from the east to Jerusalem. That's interesting. Some men who studied the stars. But watch this one. The Living Bible. Whoa. Some astrologers from the eastern lands arrived. Whoa. So astrologer, as we saw, had the same word for teacher and physician is actually astrologer. So therefore, these 3 different translations can have 3 different stories. That's why it becomes important for you to study and understand. Because you may not throw one thing out because you don't even know the thing that you're throwing out is the same very word that you say you believe in. You may be of the school of thought that it's okay for him to sit with the teachers. It's okay to sit with the physicians, but it's not okay to sit with the astrologers. And that's not the truth. Okay? Now, I didn't write this Bible. I showed you the definition in Greek. So now that means, basic common sense, we just have to accept it as a fact that's entered in on the biblical record. That's it. So that's a fact. So since it's a fact, let's continue to evolve the conversation. Okay? Now, this is a hierarchy of the Christian church. The Roman Catholic Church pretty much is the church still in existence today. Black folks, okay? You were coming from the Baptist. That's a fact. Majority of the black folks is coming from the Baptist and maybe at best the African Methodist Episcopalian Church. All right. Some of your early people in Philadelphia, free black men was creating them kind of churches. But, you know, all of them pretty much come from the Lutheran. Martin Luther was a bad boy because Martin Luther said, hey, the individual got the right to interpret the scripture. Okay. And then Martin Luther King became a bad boy in real life. You got to know that Martin Luther King was named after Martin Luther, a church reformer, a different sect of the church. But the truth of the matter is the Roman Catholic Church, if you a Christian, the Roman Catholic Church is your mama. It's your daddy. Meaning it's the creator of it. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? Again, this is your origin point of the story. Okay? See, me and Juicy stuff like this, and I cracked up laughing for about 5 minutes looking at this today, and because it's a joke, not a joke in a bad way, but this is the stuff we do to get on people's nerve. You know what I mean? But you know, they took something, a monument, and that pointed to the heavens and put their own thing on it. That's a fact. Christianity took something out of Africa called a tekken or obelisk and put their own symbol on top of it, and it still stands to this day. Okay, you ever want to talk about a remix? This is a remix for real. Okay, but this is the origin point of the story. So let me show you something.
A refurbished Tekken.
For real. Don't sweat the technique, bro. For real. Look, so the Vatican Observatory, all right, the Vatican is of the Catholic Church, the oldest church, okay? You have to know, Christian, that your Vatican, your church, has an observatory where they look at the stars. And this is what it says in point 1. The 1582 reform of the Gregorian calendar was the first instance of active Vatican support of astronomy, resulting in both a more accurate yearly calendar and simplified way of determining Easter and other movable religious feasts. If you are a churchgoer, I challenge you in a good way to ask your pastor, hey, why does Easter change every year? Because it's not December 25th every year, although Easter usually can be in March, sometimes it's in April. So why does it change? I am showing you that the origin of Christianity itself now has a big old telescope in a couple of them, and they're telling you that they must study the universe in order to determine Easter and other movable religious feasts. So what do you mean by movable? Because Easter is not the same. It's not April 15th every year. It moves. So if it's movable, then what are you measuring to determine where you're going to have it at next year? It must be something in the sky because we're on the Vatican's observatory website. So they're looking at space phenomenon and giving you things to do. That's pretty cool. But do you even know what they're looking at? You see? Because I ain't gonna even say it. Last I checked, for real, people who did that kind of stuff, they were called different kind of names that wasn't all that cute and popular, right? But the church itself practices astronomy, looking at planetary positions, and then I don't know what part they call this. They actually physically do things. They do physical events to mirror the heavens. I don't know what you would call that because astronomy don't tie astronomy into physical events. Last I kind of checked, I thought astrology dealt with the physical events of the astronomical alignment. That's the truth. Let's cut it out. That's what astrology is. It explains the event, right? It explains the event in conjunction to planetary phenomenon. And that's what Easter and other movable religious feasts do. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. Again, rest in peace to both these gentlemen. So what appears to be on our timeline of 1/7/2023, the incident date of Tyree Nichols, right? Immediately, you know what I'm gonna say. I want to go look for the planet Mars. Why? Because Mars represents armed service. Armed service means police with guns. Bloodshed, it means war. It's nasty. It's very violent. Every time I see this kind of event, I'm going to go to the planet Mars. I have tons of videos here on the channel that outlines this stuff. Okay. Only thing you got to do is go look at the videos of people like Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, stuff like that. Okay. You're going to see a pattern. All right. So on 1/7/2023, Mars appears to be at the horns of Taurus, the bull. That's what it appears to be in the sky. Disclaimer, it's not really in Taurus. The earth is tilted. So the things that you see in the sky, technically, it look like they're a little bit back, a sign behind. Now, here is some food for thought. I don't want to get too deep, but here's a fact that you can relate to. The physical moon right now in the sky look like it's full, ladies and gentlemen. In the next couple days, you're going to only see the left side of the moon and you won't be able to see the right side of the moon. Now, you know that the physical moon in the sky is not changing shapes. It's not doing that. However, there's going to come a period of time where you won't even see the moon. And then after the new moon and 2 days after the sun and moon align, 2 days after that, you're only going to see the right side of the moon and you can't see the left side of the moon until you get to the full moon. This is a fact. But the physical moon itself is not changing shapes. So where you live at on Earth, it has an optical illusion. Sort of like that side view mirror on the car that says objects appear closer to what they seem. There's an optical illusion here. So I don't want to get into the math of it, but in the sky, it looked like it's going down right here at the horns of the bull. Okay. So let's note that. So then what happens is you go to the birthday of Tyree Nichols, June 5th, 1993. He would be like, hey, it's Gemini season. Okay, where's the sun? The sun is right here at the horn of the bull. Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me this actually comes first because it's 1993. He's born here, right here, right? The sun represents self. It's your energy. But almost 29, 30 years later, almost, when Mars gets here, we have an incident that represents the precise energy that Mars represents that I showed you earlier, right? The violence, the gunshot, stuff like that. So now, when you look at it on a chart, January 7th, 2023, we're going to look at Mars. We see the event, but where's Mars? Mars appears to be at 8 degrees Gemini. Please write that down. Keep a note because that's going to come back. 8 degrees Gemini. Okay. All right. So then what was Mr. Nichols' sign? Hey, June 5th is Gemini season. That means he's a 15-degree Gemini. You see that number 15 by the sun? That means he's born on the 15th day of Gemini. So it says 15 degrees Gemini. So June 5th is Gemini season, yes? So 15 degrees Gemini, but Mars in the sky was at 8 degrees Gemini, okay? So it's in the same vicinity as space. Now watch this. But then I said, let's go look at Mr. Rodney King. Oh, Mr. Rodney King has the North Node at 15 degrees Gemini. Well, 15 degrees Gemini is exactly where Mr. Tyree Nichols has the sun. Perfect, dead on to the degree. So what that would look like is this. Tyree Nichols' sun, 15 degrees Gemini. The North Node, right here, 15 degrees Gemini. In blue for Rodney King. So this is a perfect, and I mean perfect, Couldn't get no more perfect than this. What we call perfect conjunction. Two things conjoining. Okay? All right. So what are the nodes? I ain't making this up. You got the head of the dragon on one side, and then you got the dragon's tail, which is always opposite. But something in Revelation was a bit of a mystery to you. And it read, and this is chapter 12 at that. they so clever. A spectacular sign appeared in the sky. There was a woman who was dressed in the sun, who had the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. She was pregnant. She cried out from labor pains and the agony of giving birth. Another sign appeared in the sky, a huge fiery red serpent with 7 heads, 10 horns, and 7 crowns on his head. Its tail, the tail of the dragon, its tail swept away 1/3 of the stars in the sky and threw them down to the earth. It's a lot of symbolism here.
Oh,
I give you some basic stuff. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
There's some basic symbolism here. 12 stars. You say, hey, that's the 12 disciples. You're right. Symbolize also. You get the 12 zodiac signs. They revealed it in chapter 12, right? The moon is at her feet. I just want to point out a couple little things here. She's clothed in the sun while the moon is under her feet. And then they talk about a dragon's head and then talk about his tail. Why they keep telling you about her head, her feet, his head, his tail? It's top bottom type of things. Sun and moon, celestial bodies and stars, right? Okay, now watch this. Let's understand what the node is. That thing Rodney King had, you have to understand this. This is very important. See, when I give consultations, this is the last thing I like to end with because it's absolutely, in my opinion, the most important thing to look at in a chart. Okay? Now, that gold circle going around the earth, that is the lunar orbit. I need you to look at that closely. It is the circular path as the moon goes around the earth. Now, the earth is going around the sun, called the earth's orbit, the big dotted white line. The point of intersection on a circle within a circle will always be 2 points. Yes, you see it. It's called a descending lunar node and an ascending lunar node. The woman clothed in the sun, yes, with the moon under her feet, yes, 12 stars upon her head, right? Are you not about to go through 12 months as you go around the sun? Yes, you are. You're going to go through 12 months. These 12 months, you say, hey, it's Leo season. Hey, it's Virgo season. Hey, it's Libra. You do this. Every month you do this when it's your turn. You do. Right? So now this intersecting point, these 2 points represent the nodes. The question becomes, let's define the nodes. What do they mean? Because see, the nodes are not bodies in space. They're intersecting points in space. And that is very interesting because it's not a physical body like Earth and Sun. It is an intersecting point in space. North Node, soul's purpose, karmic path, where we're going, what we need to learn, expansion, future, unknown. You see why me personally, I like to end it with that. What's more pressing to know than your soul's purpose? Jeez. South Node, comfort zone, what we came from, what we mastered, we did it before, past life, familiar. Okay? Now, again, Rodney King's North Node, what he has to learn and grow into, is in the same position later. Tyree's Nichols' sun would be in the same position where Rodney King's energy is at. Now, I know that energy is a two-way street, and you're going to see a classic example of this pretty soon. Okay. You know who else had this same phenomenon? Because I remember this. I do this. I remember this case study I did. Yep. Chris Breezy and Rihanna. And that didn't end too pretty. And I ain't even want to put the ugly beat up pictures on here. But you know how that ended. You see? See what happens when you don't know? When you don't know, ignorance is no excuse of the law. This can become very dangerous if you're not careful. I should have put another case study when this kind of thing gets activated too, and I did it before. Larry Trotman and Roger Trotman. You know, allegedly the brother kills the other brother. You know what I'm saying? When this energy lines up, it is very tough, ladies and gentlemen, because this person is activating what it say. I'm not making it up. What did it say? Karmic path, right? All right. Now let's look at some things here. So the 2023 event with Tyree Nichols, Mars is here. On June 5th, 1993, we saw that the sun was here. April 2nd, 1965, we saw that the node was in this same space, right? That's what we saw. All of this happening in the same area of space. Now watch this. So now we got to say, well, hey, now this is how you know. I'm telling you right now, what I'm about to show you next, this is how you know this is the real deal. Well, shit, let's go look and see what was going on when Rodney King got his behind beat. This is March 3rd, 1991. You want to see what happens? Look at it. March 3rd, 1991. Where is Mars, ladies and gentlemen? Yo, stop playing. Do y'all see that? Yo, stop. So you mean to tell me this dude is in the same place in 91? Okay. So now let's give it a correct timeline of events here. Right? So let's look at it. 1991, Mars is here. On June 5th, 1993, when Tyree was born, his son was here. When in 65, when Rodney King was born, the node is here. And now on the 2023 event that happened to Tyree Nichols, Mars is here. The same as it was in 1991 for Rodney King. You got to be kidding me. But it gets even better, ladies and gents. I promise you do. Now, remember, I said January the 7th, the date of the event, Mars appeared to be at 8 degrees Gemini. I said that, right? 8 degrees Gemini. Now watch this. It's coming. Now, when Rodney King was born on April the 2nd, 1965, April the 2nd, Rodney King will be a 12-degree Aries. April the 2nd is the 12th day of Aries. Okay? But there's something called progression, meaning the energy of the sun. Just pay attention to the sun. Since the woman was clothed in the sun, the energy of the sun continues to progress 1 degree per year. So now when Rodney King died on June 17th, 2012, he was a 28 degrees Taurus on his death day. He's no longer necessarily a 12-degree Aries. His energy has progressed. See, you remember the sun is with the 12 disciples. Ain't these 12 areas of space that you see? Huh? The sun traveling with the 12 disciples. This is another version of what it's talking about. So this energy has progressed to 28 degrees Taurus in 2012 at the death of Rodney King. But you know what Spirit said, do? I'm going to show you before I do. Let's look at something real fast before I show you. And I want to go to the third paragraph, because we back to the Vatican, the Christians. the originators of Christianity. The calendar contained a tiny error in determining the length of the year. And by the late 1500s, the error had grown large enough to make timing of the church holy days out of sync with their respective seasons. Why am I pointing that out? Because again, an error in your timekeeping had people out of sync. So they have to constantly measure what's going on. Always. Always. Meaning this thing is forever in motion, right? We're in motion. The earth spins, sun up, sun down, there's motion. So the progressive law, it keeps moving. So now what do you see? This is looking red at the top. Progressions for January the 7th. Is that not the death day or the shooting day? I'm sorry. The day of the beating for Tyree Nichols, January the 7th. And what would Rodney King, you see his birthday at the top, April 2nd, 1965. I'm not making it up. So what's his energy now? He's 8 degrees Gemini.
That's dangerous.
Exactly what Mars was in the sky on the day of the event. But Rodney King has been dead, so it seems, for 10 plus years, Jew. I don't think y'all understand this. When I saw this, I don't smoke. But damn it, that was one of those moments I said, I need to take a cigarette or something and go for a walk. Because you're telling me that Rodney King is dead. We know the event mirrors it in physical, like in physical beatings. Then you take it to the heavens and you see the exact same thing, 15 degrees Gemini, shit lining up perfectly. And then you do a progress chart on Rodney King and it happens to be 8 degrees Gemini. I mean, precisely to the very degree of where the planet Mars was at the time of this young man. So now you have to ask the question, is the intelligence of Rodney King alive?
It's called Matthew 28, maybe, where the Christ tells him, I will be with you even to the end of the age.
If the intelligence of Rodney King ain't alive, then here comes another question.
Boy.
What knows this then? Let's say Rodney King is dead. He dead. Ain't no such thing as spirit, ain't no such thing as intelligence, ain't none of that. But shit, we just showed something here that something is aware of Rodney King. Clearly, something is aware of Rodney King. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It gets even better. Watch this. Hold on. Let me put it in this order. So we're going to start from the left. And then we're going to go right. So left. Rodney King is first on the timeline. His node is there in 1965. Then it's the 1991 event. Mars is there. Then it's Tyree being born in 93, just 2 years later. The sun was there. Then it's the 2023 event that happens to correspond with the progressed sun location for Rodney King being dead 10 plus years, all in the same region of space. I mean, the exact same region of space. 15 degrees and 8 degrees. You saw it. Okay? Now, watch this. It's a little system, and I don't really feel like getting into the technicality of it. And I got another disclaimer about some stuff, right? Like tonight's conversation, ladies and gentlemen, is for, and I pray somebody is going to, I'm just going to have to say it in the chronology of events of how me and Jew came together in this lifetime, right? Like, and I don't want to compare you, but I'm going to have to in a sense, right? It takes a certain level of intellectual curiosity and discipline to be able to thoroughly extract the mysteries of what I presented to you for you to be able to create something out of it that is going to better yourself and other people's lives. This is not for you to fall and worship this shit. Excuse my French. I want to be clear on that. This is not for you to worship this. This ain't what this is about. This is simply telling you the different measurements of reality. In other words, I would like to say the different temperaments of things that we can see in reality. That's it. It's not for you to worship. It's for you to understand the vibrations or the different aspect of consciousness. Okay? All right. So in this particular system, Rodney King would be what's called a 6 of spade. Okay? In this system. Okay. Guess what? And I don't want y'all to think I'm lying. I'm going to show you. Well, if you type in the birthday for Mr. Tyree Nichols, what was his yearly card? A 6 of spade. See, that's almost my last slide, but I'm going to show you in real time. What do it say about the 6 of spade? It said this is the card of fate. This is the strongest karma card. I ain't making this up. This is what it say. But I'm gonna show you. But I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. Because see, let's do it like this. Rodney King was born on what? 4/2/1965. So you won't think I'm lying. You will lie. See, June. I'm sorry, 6 of spade right here, right? Now, okay. Well, let's go to Mr. Tyree Nichols, who was born on what? He was born, what was he born again? 5/5/89, right? 5/5/89.
No, 6/5, wasn't it?
No, yeah, you're right. 6/5/89. 6/5/89. Oh, hold on. Was he 6/5, 6/5/89?
Or was it 93?
Hold on. Yeah, he's 93. I'm looking at something else. 5/5/89. That's my bad. I'm looking at Chris Brown stuff on my notes. So he's 6/5/93. That's what he is, right? So he's 6/5/93. There we go. 6/5/93. Homeboy is carrying a 6 of spade. So what like, man, do y'all understand this? You mean to tell me there's another calendar system that just said, hey, we can put cards to this and we can kind of give you an idea, some insight here. It's just another calendar system. That's all it is. And this dude, Rodney King, is a 6 of spade, but you get a card every year that you hold starting on your birthday. And you telling me that Tyree Nichols was holding the yearly card that was Rodney King? Come on, man. Now watch this. Now you see, I'm finished with the slides. I was gonna say I'm saving this one for Jew, right? Because I ain't telling him this. Now watch this. We're gonna clear the birthday out, right? Now watch this. We're gonna go in the linear fashion of events, right? So 3/3, which was Rodney King, 3/3. What year?
91 was it?
91. 3/3/91 for Mr. Rodney King. That's when he has his incident, right? It's a 7 of spade day, right? The birth card. It's a 7 of spade day. Rodney King got beat on the 7th of spade day, right? I think y'all know where I'm going with this, right? So then we January the 7th. Now watch this. They haven't updated this widget all the way up to 2023, but it's okay because that day is going to be that day. Watch this. January the 7th, 7 of spade.
Wow.
Well, hold on. If you think I'm lying, if y'all think I'm lying, January 7th, let's go to 76. 7 of spade. Hold on. January the 7th. Let's just pick any random year. Let's just go somewhere. Let's go all the way back to 1918. Is it gonna show me? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, hold on. Hey, that
What
damn
happened?
boy, sure. I don't know. Hold on.
It won't even refresh it, would it?
Yeah, it ain't even
There you
getting
go.
to it.
Wait, no. I thought it was populating.
Yeah, it ain't even getting to it. I can go to another one though. But y'all see the gist of it. Hold on. I can go to another one. I don't want to do Seven Thunders. That's the one that's acting up. So we can go January 7th. And again, I mean, we can just pick any year, man. It don't matter. That day is the day. We tried to go to 1918 to see. See, he copying Robert Kemp. He got the same widget that he got. So he ain't do nothing but copy it. But again, I mean, you can go, I mean, hell, let's just go to 1993 and see. Oh, it would do that, right? But nevertheless, y'all saw it, right? That's a day, January 7th. You know, that's a 7 of spade day. You know what I mean?
But it was a 7 of spade in that spread though. I wonder is this the exact same? Let's see.
Yeah, so you
There
said
you go again.
right. So that's right. So that's the 7 of spade, literally. That's the birth, that's that card. So all I'm saying, when I take, hold on, let me take this thing off here. Where we at here? Stop screen. So all I'm saying is, as y'all saw, right, that the beating days were the exact same days in this particular calendar system. You know what I'm saying? And just all of those alignments right there is it's crazy, man.
And it's like 5 different. Now here's
Crazy.
the question, man. That would mean if for all pragmatic, logical, rational concerns, in some strange way, that would mean that Rodney King and Tyree Nichols had some type of covenant,
Yeah. Yeah.
agreement
Yeah.
on something. Like they are interconnected. You know, we had
Sun
this
and
conversation
damn.
all the time. Like, you know, these you like who's really the enemy, who's the friend, who's the companion, who's who down here. And maybe you just don't have enough storage space in that hippocampus to remember a 500-year beef.
Yeah. Facts. Facts, man. It's clear the binding factor for sure in the chart easily was 15 degrees Gemini. That no point, the dragon's head, and see, think about the dragon, right? The head, like that's a malefic point, right? Ain't nothing nice and pretty about dragons, right? They ain't unicorns, you know. And that sun, that energy being locked in creates the celestial covenant in a sense. And here's the kicker, ladies and gentlemen, like even the event of Rodney King happens before Tyree is born. But remember, the scripture said, I knew you before you were born.
2 years
So
before. 2 years
exactly,
before.
two years.
Which is how long it takes for that node to move.
That's right. That node move at about 1.8. Yep, 1.8 years it switches. So 2 years it switches and whatnot, right? So it's just another look. See, when I looked at this, I said, "Oh shit, it's time to get on to the monastery and become a monk." I see why the monks and the nuns do what they do. Seriously, man, because see, you become entangled with stuff. Now, here's the kicker: if you know that system, it was in sequential order. They 6 of spade, then 7 of spade, right? But that means that's karma, right, Jew? Because the 7 now owes the 6, right? Ain't that how that go? And so the card before you and the card after you. So it's kind of like the card that is below you in a numerical sequence, you owe that card in a sense. You see what I'm saying? And then the one that's above you obviously is the one that owes you in a sense, right? And so now you got this both dying on different days in the calendar, but are getting their incident started on different days on the calendar. Should go to both of their death days and see what happened. But you just see these mirrors popping up. And then the question really would become, why? To get you to do what? What is it that we gotta understand about this thing? You know what I'm saying? And like shout out to I think it was Indigo Earthly Angel, or I forget who it was earlier in the chat to say, hey, did y'all know that Breonna Taylor was actually born on the same day and same year as Tyree Nichols? And that's very interesting because you can't rule that out. You got to look at that situation. Like, you got what? You serious? So we know that was a similar situation, right? And I'm gonna tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you. And we've been saying this. We got to be careful on what we observe without putting an intention on solution. And here's a kicker. I want to be clear because I'm not even necessarily talking about you working out a physical plan. Again, I showed you in the beginning of this, there's 2 states of creation. There's an idea seed, or what we call a primordial state in a sense, the subconscious aspect. You can do that with your intention. Minister Jew used to say it years ago, like, yo, this is the time where you go in collective and you zoom in with the same intention when something like this happens, right? Because that intention will take seed and root in something and someone, and then the physical solution will come about just from your thought. You see? But if we keep viewing stuff and we get mad, and the way consciousness works is consciousness is always trying to figure stuff out. If you look at the landscape of I call this place the place of perfect imperfections, right? This is a place that where you got to have a sense of humor with this stuff with God, right? You just do. Like you look at an elephant and we be like, me and Drew talk about stuff like this. It's like, yo, he tripping. God made this dude have an arm for a nose. You know what I'm saying? Like an elephant's arm is like his nose is an arm. You know what I'm saying? And so it's weird. You start to see ostriches, these big ass birds that got feathers that can't fly. For what? Right? Like it's weird stuff. You can man, it's so much weird stuff that's in creation that it almost look like, I just call it perfect imperfections. And what happens is the consciousness within the evolution of time wants to get better and better within its function, right? And so now when you have an unresolved issue, that got to come back. You got to correct that. You got to fix that. Hence, remember, what did the node say? The node said, hey, you got to grow into this. You got to fix that. In the whole, let me tell you something about the Jewish boys. And the Jewish people are really the original Christians, hence the Old Testament, right? They got a whole system. This is called the Tikkun, Tikun. The Tikkun. The Tikkun, Jew, is predicated upon the North Node.
Yes.
That's all it's about. It's all about the dragon's head. Your soul's correction. What is your soul here to do? I swear to God, y'all can Google this stuff. It's called Tikkun. In the Jewish mystery schools, which is the original Christians of the Old Testament, they're dealing with this science called soul correction, dealing with the node. Facts. Right? So, no food for thought, man.
This is why is it's important to I'm reiterating what Ampu said, what we observe, right? Because see, the brain, man, it's a computing device.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just having class this morning in a membership, and we went over this. When you see something, right? Especially when you're fed the data from the news, from the social medias, right? This invokes an emotion. You start to feel a way about it, right? And the brain is searching out the body in order to find a sensation to see if whatever it's computing can be produced. So this thing it's always neutral, but it depends upon you and what you're taking in on how it's going to show up externally. Not only that, so what'll happen is next month it'll be something similar to Tyree Nichols, right? And then we'll say, see, they did it to us again. I remember it was somewhere in Florida. Remember, Noble, where it was a guy down there who was like mentally challenged.
Yeah, he was with his counselor.
He's with a counselor.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked him, why did you shoot him? And the cop's answer was, I don't know.
I don't know.
Now, you may say, oh, he's just saying that he's trying to get off. Let me tell y'all something. The power of suggestion is very, very real. And you may say, oh, I'm in control of everything that I'm doing. My conscious mind is always in control. No. Do you know that before you make a conscious decision, that your brain had already made the decision moments before it reached your surface mind?
Uh-huh.
So the whole purpose of programming yourself is so that you can wake up the next day with a new set of commands. So then you start to act different. So scripture calls it command you me. Right? So imagine millions of people thinking and feeling away. We're constantly sending these projections out, bouncing off this person, bouncing off that person, and then the suggestion lands in the mind of the person that can carry out the ordeal. It's heavy, man.
Yep.
It's heavy. And so, like Ampu said, you got to be careful because you never know when, I used to call it, you never know when you're being called upon as an extra in somebody else's movie.
Mm-hmm. Boy, listen. That piece of game right there, when you look at life that way, being called upon as an extra in somebody's movie, you know what that is? That's when somebody call you, hey man, can you come over here and do, and you got to take time out your day. You did, this was not on your conscious plan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, buddy, my boy, I'm talking about my senses go all the way up when that happened.
Because it's like, why? Who? Like,
that's right.
Okay, who are you?
Right.
Like,
why? What's the storyline on the way to, to do XYZ? You know what I'm saying? Like what's unfolding? You know what I mean? And those are really your times of prayer and banishing in those particular moments, if you accept to be the extra in somebody's movie. You know what I'm saying? Because here it is, you think you got your plan for the day going and you about to do XYZ, totally unknowing to you. You know what I'm saying? So
a good movie scene to watch. I used to share this all the time. A great movie scene is in the movie of The Curious Case of Benjamin Button.
Mm-hmm.
where they show where Daisy came out of the dance hall and the taxi cab ran her over.
Mm.
And they retracted the day
Mm-hmm.
to show how every person involved, they didn't even know Daisy.
That's right. Couldn't miss nothing.
That is, they said something like, this person had an argument with their spouse the night before,
Mm-hmm.
which led them to sleep late, which led them to be late for work for the dispatching of the taxis. And then the other person, who was the taxi driver, stopped to get coffee.
Right.
And it was all of these what seemed to be unrelated moving parts. But every single part came into that moment of time and space, which physics calls an event horizon, to create that moment for Daisy. All Daisy had to do was one thing different.
That's it, man.
So it reminds me of Tupac in that lyric where he says, my every move is a calculated step
Yeah. Yeah.
to bring me close to
Yeah.
embracing early death. Like he was
Yeah.
talking that talk. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Facts, man. Yeah, man. You guys, listen, man, for those of you that hear this, you get this, man. Seriously. Like, don't take this thing for granted, meaning life. You know what I'm saying? Saja, what's happening? Don't take this for granted, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I always think of the people like Takeoff, rest in peace. Like you don't know today your last day. You don't know that in 5 minutes it's about to go down. You don't know that this is your last moment. Kevin Samuels, again, like you got plans to do big productions and shit, and you don't know that today your day, nigga. Today you coming on home to the maker today. You don't know this, right? And don't take it for granted. The people who you with, love them, express that. You know what I'm saying? And just do your best, man. Try is the thing I can say. You know what I mean? I'm into some, you know, I got some old teachings. You know what I mean? That I get schooled in, and try is literally the sort of like the motto. You know what I'm saying, of the whole thing. Because try denotes that you have intention, there's an idea, and then there's an action. You can't do anything without an idea of what you're doing, right? I can't drive a car without, a car, you know what I'm saying? Or the thought of driving, you know what I mean? Like, try, try, and try again. Try. Seriously. It's so simple, but it's so critical. Try. Don't take these days for granted, man. Try. You know.
Khalid Hassan says, is there a way to do that one thing to avoid catastrophe? It's a great question. So Ampu mentioned something called banishing. There's something called a banishing rite. Uh, different prayers, um, and light, right? Scripture tells us to do what? It tells us to put on the armor of light. So you have to take that, embrace it, and then practically put it into application,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because this is what we know for a fact, is that when we do close our eyes and we start to visualize light, we literally create photons. It's not a philosophy. It's a fact of neuroscience. If you close your eyes and you begin to see white light, the brain starts to emit photons.
Mm-hmm.
And so in the book of Romans, it tells us that we should be able to look to nature to be able to determine the mystery of the Godhead. So that means we should be able to look at everything outside of us and everything that's going on within our beings, this temple that is supposed to be housing God, to come up with solutions on how to sidestep certain things. That's easier said than done, especially when Mars is involved.
You thinking the same thing.
Especially with Mars involved. That guy there is a formidable opponent.
Yeah. We
More
got
so than
news for
any other
Elon Musk,
planetary body. But
yeah. We
but
got news
white
for
light,
Elon
man.
Musk.
White light is just like, what light blinds things. In other words, because what you're really trying to do is you're trying to prevent the wave collapsing.
The negative aspect of the pole.
Negative aspects of it. So this is why knowing is half the battle, as they say, because I just had this conversation too this early afternoon, that it can be used two ways, but by you knowing the way that you're using it will determine how it impacts your life.
Right. Yep. Because this thing here, this is you. There's a positive pole and a negative pole, a foot in the head, in a sense, right? And since you are light, because you got a heartbeat, without that heartbeat, you dead, right? That's why the first thing they want to do is check your vitals. I keep telling you that. That's the first thing they want to do is check your vitals. Let you flatline. They're going to take these paddles and they're going to hit this thing in your heart called a SA node to get the heart to generate electricity to get you to come back to life. So your whole life is predicated upon the electrical force that's inside you. But science has shown that all electricity creates what? Magnetism. Magnetism is the magnet, which means what? You attract shit to you. See what I'm saying? Okay. Now, and so to go on that question, like you said, how do you sidestep this negative, right? Well, Jew mentioned something about Mars. If there's one thing we know, we always know where this dude is at. And you have to know when this cat is about to get into a position that's going to challenge you. For example, I give you a case in point. Rodney King, I always show y'all that square chart that I have, right? And so the square chart says that King was born with where was, let's say hypothetically he wasn't there, but I forget where he had it. Let me see, because I don't even want to quote this wrong real fast. Let me go see something real fast on Rodney King's his birth chart by himself. Where is Mars at for Rodney King when he was born? Boom, 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 boom. He had Mars in Virgo when he was born. But when he died, when at the date of the incident, we saw Mars was in Gemini. So the Gemini Virgo axis is at work, and that's called a square, right? And so we always know when this dude is going to be in this certain position to trigger us, right? That's the likelihood of the event of something can happen during that time. So now what you're doing is, since you are aware of that time and whatnot, this is a time where you beef up your prayer, you beef up your light, the things that you do, you banish, you do whatever your spiritual practices are and whatnot. And this is just time for you to be aware. You know, I mean, again, it's just you have to be aware and know. Now, it's funny to a degree on how it kind of manifests sometimes, because you know it's going to come through the agent of another person. And so now this is where you have to become the Kung Fu master, because you never see the Kung Fu master act out of anger emotion. You don't come out of that way. He comes out of defense and skillfully subdues you. You see what I'm saying? And so to watch it try to manifest itself in the form of an argument or whatever the case may be, is quite amusing to a degree because you knew it was coming. But since you knew it was coming, you don't have to respond, because the way that you kill this demon is you don't give it no air. You don't give it no life. You see what I'm saying? Fire, which is a Martian thing, it needs oxygen. Oxygen always make fire expand. But if you kill oxygen, breath, communication, talk, you see what I'm saying? It won't live. It can't live. You see what I'm saying? And so you just have to know. And there's a time where, listen, everybody should have things like, I'm a big fan of the automobile rosary beads on if you got a car, on your rear view mirror. Saint Christopher is the patron saint for safe travels, right? Saint Michael, the defender of, he the one that subdues the demon or the dragon, right? That's Saint Michael's energy. Mary is another one. Saint Joseph is another one, right? So you gotta tap into some of these things to bless your car, man. To bless your. Do you know in every Jewish establishment that you go to, on the right hand side of the door, there is a prayer rolled up and put inside of a canister called a mezuzah, and it's a prayer that's about protection and things of that nature and prosperity on the outside of the door. So any energy that's coming in is supposed to get warded off by that energy that's right there. Look into this stuff. It's a serious stuff, right? So once you know, man, then you start to do certain practices. You know what I'm saying? Or you may want to lay low, and you're like, nah, I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I ain't doing that one. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. But
yeah. Any more questions? We can wrap this thing up. I better get this hip hop laws of attraction, man. Get y'all one. How do you define Baphomet? Like, I'm familiar with Baphomet, but I'm just trying to understand how do you define Baphomet in that sense? So I had the St. Michael stamp in the car day before a serious accident. I went into a boutique and the lady would not let me leave without it. Yeah. Appreciate you, Khalid. Appreciate you. Yeah.
hey, man, listen. Y'all interested in learning more? Somebody was asking about a reading too, Noble. If you want to get.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I'm sorry. You may shoot me an email. I got a new site up. But I ain't got that on there yet. I mean, it's called Lincoln Equity Group and whatnot. But you can, man, shoot me an email at noble noble ampu at gmail. Just shoot me an email and we make it happen, man. Because I do got a new site called Lincoln Equity Group. That's what I'm on. It's basically the same as the Prosperity Investment Group. We just pretty much changed the name of it, man. But it also allows me to, really get into my passion and my enthusiasm about history and working on this documentary that we on right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's plugging in some missing stuff. In fact, next weekend, next Sunday is the 12th at 2 p.m. I'm gonna put something on because I know Jew on at 12. So I know he'd be off at noon, about 2. So at 2 o'clock, I'm gonna go on 2 o'clock Eastern, probably do a free webinar for y'all to do a tribute to Abe Lincoln. I know y'all probably see the logo right here on the video that y'all see with that 51st star in his eye. Man, a genius. You know what I'm saying? A genius in his right, not perfect. Nobody is. You know what I'm saying? But laid a very thorough foundation for us to continue to make progress off of. And, it's time to lay that thing all the way out, man. So I'm over at lincolnequitygroup.com. Kind of keep your eyes on that and whatnot, because it's gonna be some cool stuff over there, man. And also, even the name equity, man, I'm a big fan of equity. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my real estate office right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, just being, You know, it could be anything, man. It could be, hey, me and Jew, we 50-50 partners on something that costs 30,000. You got 15, I got 15. Or it could be, I got, you know, he got 3,000 and I got 27. You know what I'm saying? So he got 3%, he got 10% of it. So therefore I got 90% of it. You know what I'm saying? And your money could be worth its weight. And that's what it's about. And I think we should be looking at ways that we could do ventures with one another and have equity inside of this thing and do stuff, man. I got land. I'm gonna do a land thing. You know what I mean? I'm actually letting some people that's, you know, close to me in a sense get a chance on becoming a partner with me in some land for only $3,000. I already own it. You know what I'm saying? But I bought it on a tax sale. It was dude didn't pay the taxes in like 16 years. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, I got 12, yes, 12 parcels. You know what I'm saying? I got 12 parcels of land that I'm gonna bring, you know, the people in who want to partner with me and we can do some things. You know what I'm saying? So just look for me at Lincoln Equity Group. All right, lincolnequitygroup.com. But if you need to email me, you can email me at nobleampu@gmail. All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, no, man. If you wanna gain more insight to this, man, we teach this at a very high level. We have memberships, man. It's basically my ministry.
Yeah,
It's my mission. It's my goal in life is to awaken the Christ consciousness in as many that believe that it exists within them. Um, and so, man, we have classes. Had class today. We 4 times every month. You know, conference calls, webinars, guided visualizations, uh, techniques, multiple techniques for multiple issues, personalized techniques for people. Um, all of that, man. We talk about this type of stuff behind closed doors
yeah,
with people who are serious, man. Because I come to the realization this year, and Pooh Ben came to the realization. Uh, some stuff just ain't for everybody, man. You know
yeah.
what I mean? And you just got to be more careful. So, people who take the time out to invest in themselves, those are people that I can trust because I know that they're just not here to dibble and dabble. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, man, if you want to join the membership, become a part of my ministry. Uh, Visit the website, theimaginationguru.com. Click on the memberships tab, and you'll be able to sign up with us and rock and roll from there, man.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't have anything else.
Man, I'm glad you said that because I do not teach this thing in public, nor do I really even teach. I'll teach it in private, but you gotta, you know what I mean. But it's I don't hold classes. You don't see me holding classes on, hey, try to learn this in 4 weeks or the basis and none of that stuff. Because the truth be told, man, as you see today, you can really now really understand and respect the fact that this particular craft is a very private craft and you should treat it with a strict level of discipline. And again, you have to have a certain mental aptitude. A lot of people will go to it because we just in an information age and we antsy, and it's something cool to kind of know, and it is without a shadow of a doubt. But they'd never ever be, you know, they'll never go any further with it than just looking at some very basics and remembering some things and whatnot. They'll never really get into the laws of it and whatnot. And you know, for that purpose, in the sense that we reserve it, and like I'll end it like this. You know, I'm a part of something that they don't even do no advertising, and if you mail them or email them at the end of their conversation, you know what they tell me every single time? Please be advised, you will not hear from us again unless you ask us a question. Meaning we're not going to seek you out and try to get you to learn this ancient science. And I'm talking about without it's documented. Abe Lincoln was part of this. You know what I'm saying? And this is a very mystic school. You understand what I'm saying? And the stuff that I get, they mail it to me. I'm getting stuff in the mail. They ain't emailing me nothing, Jew. They mail it to me. and then I have to do XYZ and mail it back to them, and they keep a little card on me to know, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, this is where you at in your study. Very old, very private and sacred. And so, you know, you to get that, you got to go through Minister Jew in that particular craft, be around for a minute, and have the certain aptitude for us to start really imparting that certain kind of information upon you. You know,
And to add, and I'm not gonna hold y'all long, it ain't just about because everybody talking information.
Mm-hmm.
See, when you come over here, we're results driven.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different type of bargain. So you're just not gonna walk away with a deep conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that you can argue with somebody about on the internet streets,
Mm-hmm.
or pulling your weight with some rookies that really don't know nothing. It ain't like that. Over here, you're gonna come in, we're gonna find out, hey, what are you here for? What's your goal? What you trying to do? All right, here, this is how you do that. And then we just watch the results trickle in. And a lot of my members probably here in the chat tonight watching this video, they'll tell you they having results all the time. All the time. So it's a fulfilling thing because their lives are becoming more fuller because they're having the experiences that they want to have in life. We don't, I don't want to take no shots, but we ain't talking about no giants that lived in the time of Noah.
Right.
Boy, we're not Noah or no Anunnakis. Sorry. We ain't doing that. Because it serves no purpose in your day-to-day nothing.
Yeah,
It ain't gonna pay your car note, your mortgage.
They will not intervene for some reason.
Listen, the day the Anunnakis write me a check is the day I start hollering at them folks. Right? The day the giants of Noah come transport me on their back, then I'll holler at them people. You know what I'm saying? But until then, I'm working with what Paul says. Do you not realize that Christ is in you? Or Ephesians, that Christ in you is the hope of glory. I'm going to activate the power of God in me because I know I wake up with me and I go to sleep with me every day. It ain't even a trust thing. It's beyond the level of trust. I'm with me all of the time.
Yes.
Right? So, sorry, not sorry.
Right. Hey, that's what it is. El Boki, no sir. They stuff is online. I don't deal in that practice. But yeah, man, we signing out, man. I hope y'all enjoyed tonight's conversation, man. I really hope that again, I don't want to compare, you know what I mean, but I don't know what else to do, man. I just remember there was a time in this particular timeline, me and Jew met because he came through a class I was offering when I was teaching. And the level of his curiosity and intellect was just so superb. It was just like, nah, yeah, you can say that. Yeah, that do equal that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Then he like, hey man, he'll see stuff. Hey man, you can share that if you want to. I like, nah, you say it, dude. I ain't about to. You say it, dude. Used to try to want to write my rhymes for me and something. I'm like, dude, you spit it, bro. What you talking about and whatnot? And but it's that kind of certain kind of aptitude that you have to have that that excites me to want like the Justins and to want me to give it. And I realized, but it's kind of like Dr. Dre, man. Dr. Dre ain't trying to make a million records. Like, dude is when he drop and he makes something that's impactful. And I like to do things of quality. What we do over here is a qualitative thing. We never played a quantitative game, if y'all notice, right? Like we never paid for ads. We never joined the big circuit to stay in the know and try to get all these numbers. And there's nothing wrong with that. We never played the quantitative thing. because at the end of the day, if you're not careful when you play that particular model, you're doing it for that, and you're not doing it for the quality per se. You know what I'm saying? And what we've had has always been very special, unique, private. Not that it won't go public, but private and very qualitative. You know what I'm saying? And hence the results speak for itself, man. So, join us, man. The Imagination Guru, highly recommend that. And I'll be dropping something soon on Lincoln Equity group pretty soon, man. So you can start engaging and doing some stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Physically, you know what I'm saying?
Night of testimony is scheduled for Tuesday. I'm gonna send something out tomorrow on that for the people on the email list. A night of testimony in Christ.
Ooh-wee.
Shout out to Noble for helping me with the title.
Ooh-wee.
I'm going for the jugular vein.
Ooh-wee.
I told Noble I'm going to get Sister Ross. Mama, Deacon Steve,
you're gonna get
Uncle
Mama.
Tommy, Auntie Annie, right? Because see, they know.
All right, Jess.
That is some truth somewhere in this joint. And they like, man, you know how they write on it, the X, they write on the X, right? But they're not being taught it in a way where they're placing the onus back on themselves.
Right.
And so what I'm doing from now on to the as far as I can see is I'm going after them folks. Cause see why everybody talking about them folks and saying, oh, they stupid, oh, they believe in the external Jesus. I guarantee you, they get a dose of Minister Jude. And they life gonna be better than the people talking crazy about how silly and stupid they are.
Yeah.
So man, we that's the vein that I'm in. We gonna kick the science, and we're gonna have a night of testimony Tuesday night where people gonna come on and share their story. So if you're in this chat tonight and you have had a breakthrough just from listening, you may not even be a member. You just may have heard me and Ampu talking somewhere, some old YouTube videos 5-6 years ago. We had some of them that went viral. Hey, if you've experienced the phenomenon or an experience that benefited you from applying it, email us. Can I drop it in the chat down here? No?
Yeah. Email that you want to testify, because just like you see me and Jew, you can get that link where you would be right here where people can see you. You see what I'm saying?
So there it is. I just put it in the chat. It's theimaginationguru@gmail.com. If y'all want to come through and kick it, and share y'all story, email me, let me know, and I add you to the roster, man. And we gonna come in, we gonna do what we do. We gonna pop our talk. We just gonna talk about the power that resides in all of us, man. So
yeah,
that's it, man. That's all I got, no.
All right, nighty night, ladies and gents. We get with y'all, man. Peace.